Jesse says he can customize these homes to fit pretty much whatever the customer needs. With this house, the customer wanted a living space for her dog, with, of course, a doggy door attached to it. Don and Michelle, the fire started right here. The owner of this lot was cutting down branches with his chainsaw. He put that chainsaw down, something sparked. That spark caught fire. The fire was then pushed by the wind through this lot here and onto those homes. And what he says only took about 5 minutes. Ridgecrest is the only foot golf course open in the valley. But Scott thinks that will change soon. He says the new game is starting to catch fire.
What do you have on tap this evening?
Now, Dan, it's no secret that the Broncos are a one-loss team. Now, if they stay that way, they have a chance to go to a BCS bowl game, but they've got to go through the Aggies first. And a lot of Bronco fans made the easy trip down to Logan to help their team beat the Aggies tonight. After printing a list of hard words, we came out to the Nampa Library to test people's spelling skills. One of the first words we're going to choose for them today, let's go with counterfeit. Yeah, that's right, Donna, and the fire actually got within about 2 miles here in Huntington, and that's why they issued a level 1 evacuation warning. Now, that means basically to be prepared and get ready to leave at a moment's notice. But last night, fire crews were able to stop the fire from spreading into the city, and that's why today that level 1 evacuation has been rescinded. But there are ways that stores can protect themselves. Vista Pond has over 34 cameras to catch the bad guys. Yeah, Don, right now this fire is burning. The smoke is really thick, as you can probably see behind me, and it's just kind of drifting north over Marsing. Right now, if you're in Treasure Valley, you could probably just look southwest and you're going to see how big this fire is. And after teaching me a few moves, I stepped into the ring with a professional MMA fighter. Yeah. It was a quick victory, but his next opponent won't be so easy. People are trying to go around on the highways parallel to the interstate, but the spokesperson from ODOT is telling me that those highways are actually closed off right now. So for right now, people are just stuck, and again, they do not have an estimation of when the interstate will be back open. Live in Ontario, Brandon, Fonda, Idaho on your side. So far, building the house has been a great project for the kids. But it's Mr. Holland who's impressed by how much the students are actually learning. Don and Michelle, only a couple more hours until Brandon Hot Rod Hempelman steps into this cage for Front Street Fights. It's a moment he's been waiting for, a chance to show off his stuff in front of a home crowd. Don't worry if you miss it tonight, there's going to be events all during Sunday, so go check those out. Live at the Basque Block, Brandon, Fonda, Idaho on your side.
Brandon Fonda is with them at the Idaho Center this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, Spencer and Jillian. I'm just doing a little bit of work over here. The boss says I can't ride the motorcycles, but this isn't a motorcycle, so Don, this fire continues to grow. Some good news now. Highway 95 is back open, but this fire has been devastating for ranchers who are still fighting the blaze, trying to save their cattle and grazelands. Good morning, Spencer and Jillian. Well, things are much better this morning. As you can see, I-84 is actually running very smoothly right now. The roads are still wet, but all that snow is clear. But as you get into side streets, especially here in Nampa, you can see many of these streets are not plowed yet.
Icy roads caused dozens of car crashes throughout the Eagle area, shutting down streets and even a section of Highway 16. Brandon Fonda has the details.
4 slide-offs, 5 rollovers, and highways shut down this morning.
People commuting and hitting just black ice.
The Ada County Sheriff's Office says they got 46 reports of different crashes, one involving over 20 cars near State Street and Ballantyne.
We have about 25 cars that have gone off the road and crashed into each other.
Traffic backed up for blocks, and authorities were scattered, trying to cover wrecks all over the Eagle area.
ISP, we have Meridian, Garden City, Ada County, several agencies helping on this due to the sheer amount of vehicles that have crashed.
Good Morning Idaho's weather anchor Danny Beckstrom says the reason for so many accidents in just one small area inversion coupled with a fast-moving storm.
Our ground was so cold from this entire week being sub-freezing that the rain froze on contact. And just the direction that this storm took, it went right through State Street, it went through Star, Eagle, Chinden, Highway 16. It was just a total mess because this water froze on contact with the ground and instantly freezes.
Sergeant Santucci warns that wet roads can be just as dangerous as snowy ones.
I think people are getting a little complacent thinking that the roads are clear when in fact there's ice.
You're watching Today's 6 on your side at 10.
A local company is thinking big by going tiny. We're talking teeny tiny houses.
Brandon
really
Fonda's
small.
here with the big story in the tiny house.
Yes, that's right. The tiny homes he builds range from 100 to 400 square feet.
Wow.
Pretty small in comparison with the average sized house in America, which is about 2,600 square feet. We have an inside look at the tiny homes that are making a big impact. Same tools, same materials, but the end product,
200 to 400 square feet.
just a bit smaller.
The tiny house movement definitely has been increasing. It's to minimize, save money, and to be able to move around when you want to.
Just some of the reasons why these miniature-looking homes on wheels are making a big impact in housing. And for most people who choose to downsize,
The outcome is very positive.
the company is called Tiny Ida Homes. Jesse has set up shop here in Nampa. The former electrician heard of the tiny house movement and he went all in.
I came home one day and said, okay, I quit my job and I'm building a tiny house. I'm gonna start a business.
If you think that sounds crazy, well, his wife agrees with you.
I think she honestly busted down in tears.
But it's paid off. Jesse has customers from all over the country wanting in on the action. And once I took a look inside,
This customer here wanted 26 foot.
I could see why.
This one here is 34 foot.
Jesse gave me a tour of his newest 400 square foot model.
This one has a front living room. I even put in some fancy lights that change colors up above.
It has a kitchen,
Reclaimed barn wood. It's white oak.
one bedroom,
Bed slides out. You can also slide it in if you want to sit at this built-in desk here.
and a custom bathroom.
Rocks and made it look like kind of like a river flowing out.
Jesse says he can customize these homes to fit pretty much whatever the customer needs. With this house, the customer wanted a living space for her dog. With, of course, a doggy door attached to it.
It's all about how much you can pack into a little area.
It's definitely a change of lifestyle.
It's just rethinking and evaluating what your priorities are and what you can live with and cannot live without.
But for those who dare to go tiny, Jesse says the benefits are huge.
I think people are looking at this as a valuable option to be able to save money and reduce their footprint.
Jesse is also one of only 3 builders that are certified to make his tiny homes certified to be pulled down the road whenever and wherever, just like an RV. So when you go on vacation, you can take your house with you.
I had no idea they were that nice inside. Doggy door, hilarious.
Yep.
Okay, but I think the thing everybody's asking about is how much do they cost?
Well, his lower models, the 100 square feet, they're $20,000 to $25,000 for bare bones, but you could go as high as $100,000 for his 400 square feet if you want granite,
Sure.
AC, the works. So it's really in the hands of the buyers.
Granite, AC.
That's my kind of camping.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brandon.
It's practice time for the West Valley All-Stars.
Start getting the arms warm.
5 minutes into practice, and I could tell these kids are good.
Footwork, footwork.
Tony Hildy is their coach. He'll tell you just how good these talented 12-year-olds are.
We've been very fortunate to win a lot of games this year.
Along with winning the Idaho State Championship, they've traveled all over, being the top teams from surrounding states. Now they're just one Northwest Regional tournament away from making it to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and his team is confident.
Like respect to the other teams, but we've played a lot of them already, so
So pretty confident.
yeah.
Don't mistake that confidence for arrogance. These kids know what it takes to win.
Just a lot of practice and mentally staying in it. Teamwork and effort.
Practice and effort are tough, but camaraderie is something that comes easy for the West Valley All-Stars.
For the most part, this team has been together for gosh, 5 years, 4 years, and so we know each other in and out. And I truly believe that in this little 10-mile stretch, we have as good a baseball as anywhere.
13 kids.
As long as we play our brand of baseball, I think we'll do just fine.
Ready to make their run.
We can win it.
At the Little League World Series.
We feel like we have a legitimate chance to go kind of shock the world, so to speak.
Brandon Fonda, Idaho on your side. Sounds like a war zone. This time no one's shooting back, but to be ready for that, team leaders are studying every detail from this tower.
Time, accuracy, identification of the target, fire commands between the section.
Today, soldiers are practicing moving downrange and coordinating their fire at pop-up targets like these.
And it's just working as one Humvee, one Bradley together, identifying targets together based off how armored that vehicle is, whether it's infantry.
This is the M2 Bradley fighting vehicle.
It takes 3 men to operate this vehicle.
Think of it like a step down from a heavy tank. The M2 Bradley's mission, along with the Humvee, is scouting.
We're not in the business of getting into a fight with anybody. We're really trying to paint the picture for those armor battalions and the boss and say, hey, this is what you have out here, this is what you can expect.
But the M2 Bradley can still pack a punch. The bad guys in their sights will have to deal with these.
This is a 25mm training sabot. It's for anti-armor. So that's what we use to kill personnel carriers and things of the like.
Sergeant Wood and his crew are being deployed soon. They've been chosen to ship out to California to train at the National Training Center, the Army's top training grounds for tanks. It's a rare honor for Colonel Johnson's men. He says the Army usually chooses fully active units for this type of training. It will be the first time in 15 years that a National Guard unit has been chosen.
It's a huge kudo for us to be able to maintain essentially the same training level as our active component brothers and sisters do.
Represent Idaho, Montana, and Oregon at the National Training Center is a huge sense of pride.
Brandon Fonda, Idaho on your side. Donna Michelle, the flames filled this home earlier today, but the fire actually didn't start here. It was spread here. The fire actually started about 50 yards that way at a tree.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it just...
Next thing I know, there's a Bronco on fire.
Look what they're going to come home to.
One home destroyed, one heavily damaged, and multiple vehicles totaled in a 3-alarm fire that was started from a chainsaw.
And I just had a little accident. I hit the ground, sparked, didn't see the grass catch fire.
Multiple agencies were on scene to try and stop the fire that spread just as quickly as it began. The fire started right here. The owner of this lot said he was cutting branches with his chainsaw. He said he put that chainsaw down, something sparked. That spark caught fire. The wind pushed the fire through this lot onto those homes over there in what he said took only about 5 minutes.
I thought I could get this neighbor's water and spray and get this stopped before it got going.
Yeah.
And it just whipped up and flames went over my head and I couldn't stop it.
Did you get burnt at all? Or you...
I don't think so. I just got hot.
It's okay.
No one was in the homes but the pets, which are alive today because of some quick-acting neighbors.
I looked in the window and saw a dog, so I grabbed a piece of gym equipment and tried to go out the door. The door wouldn't go, so I just broke the window with it, reached in, opened it up, and there were 3 dogs in there.
Sean made sure no one else was inside and got the dogs out.
Under the circumstances, I thought, got to do what you got to do, so it's more just a little adrenaline to make sure everyone's out.
And I was standing on the other side of this house when I heard this big kaboom.
Neighbors looked on, fearing for their own homes as the fire spread.
It's just scary, looking at that.
Today, they consider themselves lucky.
There are no words to express any of this.
And the only reason why we knew is because we're coming home from my work. And Wendy goes, let's go check it out. So we went and checked it out, and I'm like, oh boy.
David feels awful.
Well, I'm heartsick about neighbors.
But is glad everyone is still alive.
No one was hurt.
No one was hurt, right?
Yeah.
No one was in the house.
No.
After nearly 7 hours on the run, the manhunt is over. At about 6 o'clock tonight, Ada County Sheriff's deputies took this man into custody.
He was in the backyard. He was hiding actually in a boat. We just had deputies climb over the fence and take him into custody.
The chase started 7 hours earlier in this neighborhood near Blake Road and Star Drive.
We got a call this morning from a local resident stating that he saw this guy peeking over fences.
Then authorities arrived to confront the man.
And we got his backpack off of him and started to get a little bit uneasy, and as soon as we tried to grab him, he bolted on us and left.
Police say he ran through a house and cut through backyards to get away. During that time, police say they didn't know why he ran, but after going through his backpack, they put 2 and 2 together, possibly linking him to another burglary in Nampa.
We found some items that belonged to somebody in Nampa, contacted the Nampa detective, and sure enough, their house was burglarized last night.
K-9 units searched backyards and police went door to door, but found nothing. Then about 7 hours later,
some people saw the subject that we were looking for, notified us, so we set up another perimeter.
It was finally a neighbor who spotted the suspect in this backyard. With police already walking around, he just yelled, "He's over here!" This sheriff deputy wasted no time. He plowed through this vinyl fence to get to the man. Sheriffs say they recovered a gun and several knives from the suspect, who never attempted to pull them on police. Captain Borquist says they couldn't have caught him without your help.
It's those people that give us the things they see is what helps us actually do our job better.
Brandon Fonda, Fox 9 on your side.